Welcome, everyone. I'm Gretchen Curry. I am the founder and president of StaffLink. StaffLink is a home care and medical staffing company in the St. Louis region. In the area of home care, we primarily provide services to seniors. We have been serving the St. Louis community for over 34 years. Today, I'm here representing both StaffLink and Senior Resource Options. Senior Resource Options is a group of professionals that provide services to seniors, and our mission is to provide education and information for seniors and their families about services and resources available to them in the St. Louis area. Today, I am here with Vicki Spraul, who is the founder and president of Gray Matters Alliance. Gray Matters Alliance is a company that uses smart technology to help seniors and those with disabilities to stay safe and healthy in their home. Vicki and I have known each other for 8 to 10 years in the industry, and I've invited her to come and chat with us about an area of expertise she has and also specialized training in the area of seniors and driving. Vicki, welcome.
Thank you, Gretchen, for having me. I appreciate it.
So Vicki, my first question for you is please share with us, and when I say us, I'm talking about seniors, their families, and professionals like myself in the senior community about what it is important for us to know and understand about seniors and driving.
Sure. Well, there's a lot to know. There's a lot of things to point out. Some of the ones that really come to mind would be, first and foremost, age is not a factor. So a lot of people assume that when you turn a certain age, whatever that age is in their minds, that somebody should stop driving. And that's just not true. We have clients that are in their 50s that have shown cognitive decline that shouldn't drive. We've got clients in their 90s that are okay to drive. So age is not a factor. Get that out of your head. The other thing is you really need to concentrate on the facts and the skills of that driver versus your emotions and opinions, especially when families are involved. There's a lot of family opinions and emotions and fighting and that sort of thing. So you really do want to stick to just the facts and the skills. The other thing to remember is that we are all at risk for an accident as soon as we get in the car to drive wherever we're going. But our seniors, because of the natural aging process and other things that happen, they are at a much more elevated risk for an accident. So those are the things you need to be aware of, the natural aging process, things that occur. How's their vision? How's their hearing? How's their cognitive, their executive judgment, and that sort of thing. What we really look for is how self-aware is that driver? Are they aware enough to know when they're declining from a safety standpoint from behind the wheel? And unfortunately, some of our cognitive individuals just don't have that wherewithal to know that they're declining with their safety skills. So that's important to know. Is your loved one or your client still self-aware enough to retire from driving if they feel it's a problem? The other thing that we see a lot of, almost on every single call we get, is we will ask that question, well, what are they doing when they're driving that's making you call us now? And you always hear the same thing. You hear, oh, I won't get in the car with them. So they don't know how they're doing. Again, that goes back to that emotion and opinion standpoint. They really don't know the skills or the facts of the matter. So that's kind of where we come in. We kind of take that over for them. But you got to drive with them to see what they're doing. As scary as that sounds, even if you have to go to an empty parking lot like you did with a teenager, get behind the wheel and just see how they're doing. And just always remember that there's a right way and a wrong way to handle that conversation, especially if the family is involved. You want them all to be on the same page and go in there with a united front. Mom and dad are going to see through your conflict, and they're going to take advantage of that. So make sure everybody's on the same page. And make sure too that your loved one remains dignified through the process, and that the end goal is their independence and their dignity. And you really do want them to be empowered in the conversation if they're able to. Let them, make that decision themselves, because it goes a much longer way for their driving retirement.
So, Vicki, share with us how your company would go in and meet with the senior and meet with their family to possibly assess what the
Sure.
concerns might be about the seniors safely drive, that person being able to drive safely.
Sure, sure. So it always usually starts with a phone call, either from a loved one. We get calls from neighbors and church people that go to church together and that sort of thing, and professionals like yourself. So we kind of gather what's going on, because everybody's different in what their issues are. If we do set up an appointment, we work a little differently. So the client will not come to us. We will go to them in the comfort of their own home or community, wherever they're living. We want to make it as stress-free as possible for them. They know, and again, this isn't an ambush, so they know we're coming. And so they know that this might be their last chance to remain a driver. So they're nervous as it is. So we really do try to take that stress off their shoulders. We make it very informal. We make, they might show us pictures around the house or medals of their wars or their hobbies and that sort of thing. So what we're trying to do is gain that trust so that they will open up to us and talk to us about the objections on why they don't want to stop driving. Because usually it's not the actual driving part. They don't like to drive. They say they do, but they don't. It's the destination at the other end and their independence. So we're trying to uncover that. And sometimes the family can't do that because there's other dynamics involved. And so while we're having this nice leisurely conversation with them, we are observing, how they move, what their flexibility is, what their walk is like, how their gait is. And then we also throw in some very simple paper pencil type style cognitive exercises to determine that part of the equation. If we feel it's safe enough, then we will go out for a drive in their own vehicle on their own roads. And again, that's different. We don't want them on somebody else's car they've never driven on before. And we don't want them on streets they're just not familiar with. Some streets like downtown, where some of these, medical places are, they're very confusing to drive on. And we are on their side. We're trying to do everything we can to make sure they can still drive. And unfortunately, that's not always the case, but we are on their side. So we want to give them every last shot possible. So when we're driving with them, we observe things. We're looking to see if they're hugging the side of the curb, crossing the center line, going too fast, going too slow, being distracted, which happens a lot. And then we make that determination when we get back to the home. We will sit with the family and give them an oral recommendation. Usually the family is always there, and we'll say yay or nay. And then we do follow it up with a comprehensive written, usually about a 2 to 3 page report that will go to anybody that they say that we can give it to: doctors, social workers, other family members, etc. And one thing that we do is, if driving retirement is what our recommendation is, we don't just leave it at that. We want to make sure that they can still remain independent, still get to all their favorite places, get their medications and their foods that they worry about getting. And we provide alternate forms of transportation for them, some of the options from the local area transportation companies, whether that's, an Oates bus, or whether that's ITN, or somebody that has a private vehicle that can come and pick them up and quietly take them to wherever they want to go. They get door-to-door service, and a lot of the seniors end up liking it, not knowing that they would like it. They can go to more places. They don't have to worry about bad weather. They don't have to worry about finding a parking spot. So sometimes once we broach that with them and let them know, hey, you're still going to get to all your favorite places, all your favorite things, then they ease up a little bit and they accept it a little bit better. So that's what we do.
That's great. Wondering what solutions you presented if there was an issue. Tell us a little bit about the specialized training you received in this area.
Sure. So a gentleman by the name of Matt Gerwell, who started Keeping Us Safe, he's a retired state patrolman in Ohio, and he started the company about 12 years ago or so. And he has gone under his special training to certify us. And there's probably about 70 or so of us across the country that do this. And he requires that there is quarterly trainings and recertifications and that sort of stuff. So we keep up to date on what's happening. And some of his training involved, how to deal with vision loss, or how to deal with, mobility loss and stuff like that. So we're always being trained on how to do this.
Okay. Am I to understand that you do work with people maybe that have had traumatic brain injuries?
That is correct. That is correct. So we work with individuals that, whether it be from a stroke or motorcycle accident, car accidents, fell and hit their head, that sort of thing. So yes, we do work with them. We had a 21-year-old that we did not so long ago that his parents would not let him drive again after his car accident. He lost the vision in his left eye. And he did good to compensate for that. And the poor kid was walking 3 miles one way and 3 miles back the other way to get to work. And he finally called us himself and said, listen, my mom and dad won't let me drive until I get checked out. So we went over there and checked him out, and he was fine to drive. And, so now he's out driving again. So, everybody's different. And this kid, he compensated for his vision loss, and we accepted that and put a plan of action in for him.
I think I shared with you, I'm glad that it's not about age. I shared with you that I was aware of an individual, a 91-year-old who is from Cleveland, who lost his brother in St. Louis. His brother was in his mid-80s, and this gentleman drove from Cleveland to St. Louis safely last week and has driven back home.
Wow, good. Yeah, I'm not sure I would have taken that highway ride by myself, but good for him. I'm glad he made it.
It's quite a drive, and I told you, I don't think I'd let you in the car with me, Vicki.
No, you don't want me there. I always feel like when I get in the car with somebody, they always think, is she judging me? Is she judging me? Because I probably am.
Well, one more thing. If someone who's listening to this would like to contact you, please tell them how they can do so.
Sure. With several different ways. They can visit our website at www.graymattersalliance.com. We have a whole bunch of information on the driving portion, and then there's a contact form that you can fill out. We'll be happy to get back with you. You can also visit us via email, which is info@graymattersalliance.com, or you can call our office, which is 314-266-2678. And we are all about customer service, and we will call you back as soon as we can get to you. And we don't let it go more than a few hours before we'll get back with you. And we're always happy to talk to people.
Well, Vicki, thank you very much. This information was excellent and should answer a lot of questions for people who have questions about seniors and driving. And people will be glad to know there's a resource in St. Louis that they can contact if they need assistance in this area.